In the beginning, everything seems so perfect. You could do no wrong in their eyes. And then it seems like in an instant, it switched. The disrespect, the slick comments, and you're thrown off trying to figure it out. But I'm here to let you know you are being groomed, and I'm not talking about the wedding. Don't go away. Loved ones, welcome back to the channel as always. Much appreciation. And for those of you who are joining us for the very first time, thank you and much appreciation to you. It's Biz Lifestyle. We're going to jump right into the topic. We're going to talk about narcissistic grooming today. As always, I will preface my comments by saying I am not a clinical professional. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm none of those. I'm just a woman who is sharing of her own personal experience. And I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know based on my own personal experience in toxic and narcissistic relationships. All right. These videos are not designed to harm or trigger anyone. It's actually quite the opposite. It gives us an opportunity to feel seen and heard about the things that we've gone through. It gives us an opportunity to fellowship and just share of our own experiences. Gives us a safe space, judgment free, where we can be seen and heard and love on one another. All right. Narcissistic grooming, man. I'm in a place where I'm like doing a lot of reflecting, and I can honestly say, as I continue, to make these videos, and with, every day, month, week that passes, I feel better and better, just as a person overall. And that was a strike. Yeah, you just saw me throw that strike. But yeah, I'm feeling better and better, and I'm more and more healed than I've ever been. I'm in a place where I'm ready to give and receive love in a way that's healthy, and I want that same thing for you too, which is why I make these videos. All right. It's not just about the views or, growing the channel. Yes, while I do want those things, more than anything, I want to build community, and I want to help people with what I've gone through, because that means it wasn't in vain. And if I can, share of my experience, it could be someone else who comes across this who's in the very early stages of a toxic and narcissistic relationship, and they don't know necessarily what it is that they're dealing with. Maybe them coming across this might help them, to safeguard themselves. And that's what it's all about. But the more and more I reflect, like, I just, you can't help but feel a bit, I don't want to say angry, because I'm not angry, but just the disrespect. It's like, because as far as I'm concerned, for you to think that you have such a control over someone that you can groom them, for you to think that basically you're saying that you're smarter than them. Like, for you to approach a situation thinking that you can groom someone into being and doing what you want them to do, that means you think that you're better than them. That means you think that you're smarter than them. That means that you're not looking to interact with them in a way that's healthy. Like, you're not trying to get to know that person and bring positivity to their life. No, you're trying to control them. And that's exactly what grooming is all about. As we know, toxic and narcissistic relationships are about control. They're about control, and they're about supply. And they go hand in hand with one another. At the end of the day, grade A, new supply, back burner supply, whatever the case is, it's all about supply, and it's all about control. And it's all about, keeping up a perception, controlling the narrative, and hiding the fact that they're fear-based and that they're insecure. Just trying to control the narrative so people think one way about them, when really it's quite the opposite. That's really what it comes down to. They're more afraid than anything. And if they can manipulate someone else and use someone else to make them look better, then so be it. One pin short, but I'm going to pick that up. You watch me on this camera. I'm about to pick that up. So yeah, they just want to control us. Pick it up. Let's go, baby. I got excited for a second. My fault. You watching me in my natural habitat. This is something I like to do to unwind after I leave the office. This is something I like to unwind. Something I like to do before I record, after I record, in the middle of the night, can't sleep, whatever, And I like to play simple games like this. But not to get off topic. And it's a tie. Look at that. We got to run it back. It was a tie. But they want to control us. And they don't want anyone else to know the truth about them. And as much as I believe in myself, as much as I'm confident within myself, like, I don't approach interactions with people like I'm looking to get over. Like, I'm looking to control them. Like, I'm looking to trick them. Like, I try to move through life with an open heart and an open mind and a good energy. And I think that's just the best way to be. I think that's the best way to approach it. You get the best end result. Not to mention, when you put good energy out, when that doesn't align with your energy, like you come in contact with someone who's dark, who's toxic, you're more likely to notice it, and then you can abort the mission quickly, like before you become way too invested. I think that's a mistake that we make in these toxic and narcissistic relationships. Like, we feel like we're so invested. Picked it up. We feel like we're so invested that we don't want to walk away. And I don't know about you, but just the fact that this person in particular felt like they could control me, and that I would never see the beauty in myself. I would never see the value in myself. I would never connect with myself enough to know that this wasn't right for me. It kind of pisses me off, you know, but we grow and we move on, and we just ensure that we break that perpetual pattern so that we don't find ourselves in a series of toxic or narcissistic relationships. But definitely comment down below. Let me know your experience about it. Let me know your experience. Definitely make sure that you comment down below. Definitely make sure that you share your experience with me. Let me know how you felt like you were being groomed now that you're in hindsight. And for those of you who are still within that toxic or narcissistic relationship, please allow this video to be a heads up. You know, that's how you pick up a spirit right there. For those of you who are currently within a toxic or narcissistic relationship and you're looking to educate yourself, you want to know exactly what it is that you're dealing with, pay attention to grooming. So let's get into it. Grooming can come in a number of different ways, but essentially what grooming means to me is it's like they're trying to change you into what they want you to be. They're looking to get you to be more and more comfortable with their way of life. They're looking to get you to set your boundaries and your morals and your tenets and your beliefs to the side. And they're looking to get you to prioritize being in a connection with them above what you know is right for you. They're looking to get you to put your welfare and your ideas and your energy like to the bottom of your list of priorities over being in a connection with them. You know, they're looking to get you to put them and their desires and their wants and their needs, as toxic as they may be, on a pedestal above your own. That's what grooming is to me. And you're going to find that you're in situations that you couldn't necessarily put your finger on, like, especially once there's feelings involved. This is somebody that you felt like you were building with. This is someone who you're growing feelings for. This is somebody who at one point in time you thought this was your person, but as time goes on, you're starting to see that it doesn't feel like it used to. You're not happy the way you used to be happy. You're not at ease the way you used to be at ease with this person. They used to love the little things about you, the quirks about you, and now they're starting to nitpick you. They're starting to complain more and more. You know, they're more distant from you. They're disappearing. They're not putting in the time that they were during that love bomb phase. As we know, toxic and narcissistic relationships go through the love bomb, devaluation, and a discard. And it's a continuous cycle. As long as you continue to participate, that's how it's always going to be. And the love bombs are going to come less and less, far and few. They won't have the same energy to put into you during the love bomb phase as they did in the very beginning, when the supply that you were giving them was richer because you didn't know what it was that you were dealing with. You know, they're getting you to put your beliefs to the side. They're getting you to think more like them in a sense. They're trying to bring you more into their thinking about things, you know? And I'll even say, like, based on my own personal experience, the toxic and narcissistic person that I was dealing with was trying to groom me into being comfortable with them interacting physically and intimately with other people, and I was just supposed to accept that. It was like they wanted me to be in a relationship, in a committed relationship, but they weren't looking to be in a committed relationship. That's grooming, and grooming is abusive. Grooming is abusive. Listen, this isn't about judgment. This isn't about comparison. This isn't about competition. We all are out here making our own choices. If you are cool with living a polyamorous lifestyle, if you're cool with, you know, the throuple concept. If you're not familiar with the throuple concept, that's like there's 3 of you in a relationship. And, you know, they all have their different structures and ways that they're set up. But the toxic and narcissistic person I was dealing with wanted me to be comfortable with a situation like that, and it wasn't going to happen. That's not what I signed up for. And the more and more I made it abundantly clear as I was putting my exit strategy together that I wasn't going to participate in that, it's like they saw less and less value in me, because they began to see that I wasn't going to be controlled, and they begun to be more fearful. You know, now that I look back on the situation, they begun to be more fearful that I was figuring out who and what it was that I was dealing with. And that's just how I see it. That was my experience. There's no way, you know, like based on how my morals are set up, the type of relationships that I thrive in, you know, the way that I wanted my relationship to be, there's no way that I would have ever agreed with a polyamorous type setup. It wasn't going to happen. But again, this isn't coming from a place of judgment. That was just me. So in hindsight, you know, that's what they were trying to get me to capitulate to. Like, they wanted to be in a relationship where they could have multiple partners. That's just what I know to be true. The grooming, you know, the slick comments, the little comments that they would make, the things that they would say, how they control what they allow you to see. You know, comment down below if you can relate to me, like if you know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. When you go out in public with them, when you go out to functions with them, when you go out, you know, when you're in a friend group, or, you know, with acquaintances that you both know, the things that they do, the way that they act, the comments that they make, the things that they say. Pay attention to that. Don't, you know, compartmentalize those things. Don't push it out to the side. Like, pay attention to it. That's them in their natural habitat. That's them showing you what they're really going to be about. You go out places together, and this would kind of happen with me, like as I approach the end of the relationship, or the connection, I should say. Random people will start popping up that I'd never seen before and that I didn't know. You know, it was always like some military friend, or always some random cousin that came in from out of town, or some long lost friend that I had never heard anything about. In hindsight, looking back on it now, this was their way of trying to groom me. This is them trying to see how I would behave once they brought outsiders around me that I didn't know. And then I feel like had I stuck around longer, it would have been a situation where this is someone that they were trying to introduce me to. This is classic triangulation, you know, but I'm such a cool individual. I don't believe in making a scene out in public. I don't believe in, you know, making a scene. I don't believe in airing my dirty laundry in public. If I have an issue with the person that I'm seeing, I'm going to keep it cool. And once I have an opportunity to pull you to the side about what it is that I'm seeing or that I'm feeling, that's when we'll have a discussion about it. In my opinion, that's the way things should be handled, with dignity and with class and with decorum and with poise. You know, you don't make a scene in public. You don't degrade yourself in that way. You keep calm. And if the energy is so strong that you don't feel like you can keep calm, you excuse yourself. You know, you don't ruin anyone else's good time. Especially, like, let's say you're in a group of people, you don't ruin other people's good time. And I'm the type of person, I just don't like people in my business. Right? So, but there were situations where I was being triangulated, and until I begun to educate myself and to really know what it was that I was dealing with, I didn't know that that's what was happening, but that's exactly what it was. I was being triangulated, okay? And they were bringing these random people around just to see how I would respond to it. Who knows, you know, what these other people were. I'm sure there were other sources of supply. And I also want to mention too, sources of supply can be platonic. They can get supply from family members. There's different types of supply. Supply to a toxic or narcissistic person can come from being able to control them, being able to manipulate. Supply comes from you making a scene. Supply for a narc can be them being able to control a narrative. Based on my personal experience, and I'm not telling you what I think, I'm telling you what I know, narcs get supply from their flying monkeys and being able to control them. That's a form of grooming as well, if you ask me. So they're getting supply, you know, when they're able to triangulate you, and they're getting supply from that other person, because it's like you have your understanding of what your relationship or what your connection is, but this other person, this long lost friend, this, you know, this military friend, this quote unquote cousin that they're bringing around you, but you don't know what they're telling this other person. Like, in the midst of that happening, they're getting supply from that, whether you make a scene about it or not, because the secrets, That's another big form of supply for a toxic or narcissistic person, the secrets that they keep. Whether you ever find out that it was a secret or not, they're getting supply from that. That's a form of grooming to me. That's a form of grooming to me. The lies that they tell, the secrets that they keep, the manipulation, the triangulation. That's a form of grooming. But at the end of the day, what they're really looking to do is get you to put your guard down as much as possible. And no matter what they put you through, no matter what they show you, no matter what you see, you're always supposed to be there. You're never supposed to love yourself enough to walk away. You're never supposed to love yourself enough to question them. You're never supposed to question their motives. You're never supposed to question their intentions. And grooming doesn't stop with just you. You know, depending on how long you're connected to this person or how long they're around. Them manipulating your family members, manipulating your children, manipulating your coworkers, manipulating your spiritual leaders, manipulating, your friends. That's grooming as well. Controlling a narrative, painting a false picture of themselves and a false perception to other people. So that as the smear campaigns happen, which they're happening no matter what phase you're in, love bomb, discard, or devaluation, like you're being smeared. That's another way that they control the narrative. If you haven't had an opportunity to do so, I'll make sure that I'll link it somewhere in the video. Check out my Healing and Understanding playlist so that you can get more context and better understanding on the smear campaign, because it's counterintuitive. It doesn't make sense, to logical individuals that someone will be talking bad about you while they're love bombing you and while you're feeling like everything is okay and while you feel like everything is going good, but they're talking bad about you to other people. You're around people that you thought you were cool with. You're around people that you thought you had an understanding with. You thought you were on one accord. The last time you got together, you had a good time, but now they're acting strangely towards you. They're giving you an energy that you can't pinpoint. That's because you're being smeared. It's a way that they control the narrative. It's a way that they inflate their sense of self. It's a way for them to play the victim. And that's another form of grooming. The fact that they could have such an inflated sense of self and such a grandiose personality and perception of themselves, but they're playing victim at the same time. You cannot be a victim, but also be a person of confidence. And that's what they portray. It's so counterintuitive. Like it's an oxymoron. It doesn't go together, but that's something to be aware of. That's something that they do very well. Play the victim. And they're always going to do that. That's a form of supply for them, playing a victim. So they're bringing you around these people as a form of grooming. They're lying behind your back. They're talking your personal business. They're putting extras on your personal business to make you look less than. But they don't realize that that's a reflection of them too, because it's like, why would you be talking badly about somebody, but you're still spending time with them? Like you're still bringing them around. You're still entertaining them. You're still in their energy. Like it doesn't make sense. Why are you in their energy if you think so little of them? But they don't see it that way, because at the end of the day, they're liars and manipulators. They don't care about honesty and about truth and about integrity. They care about control. They care about manipulation. They care about the supply that they can get from you. And as much as possible, they want you to be the type of person that keeps coming back. No matter what they do, you're supposed to keep coming back. And that's what the grooming is about. That forever supply. You're there no matter what they do. All they got to do is give you some crocodile tears. All they got to do is give you a disingenuous apology. All they have to do is give you a sob sad story. Drop it down in the comment section if you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you heard all the sob sad stories of their childhood, what they didn't get, who did them wrong, who mistreated them. And this isn't to take validity away from anybody who's really experienced childhood trauma or, had a rough upbringing. This isn't what that's about. Like, I'm not discrediting, anybody's struggles or plights, because we all have them. But it's about how you carry it. And they use that, to kind of soften you up. They use that to try to make you feel away. Like they use that to abuse you. They use this fabricated abuse that they went through to control you. It's very deep. Spiritual warfare is very, very deep, but it's all a form of grooming. I'll also make sure that I throw a definition of grooming up on the screen so that you can see that as well. But this is just grooming based on my own personal experience. It's just a lot of lies and manipulation to get you to believe what they want you to believe so that you keep coming back. so that you don't love yourself enough to find your way out. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop it down in the comment section. Feel free to shoot me an email to askbizlifestyle@gmail.com. That is askbizlifestyle@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram. Come check me out. I want to see your pictures. I want to see your stories. I want to fellowship. So check me out as I get this W9485. Check me out on Instagram at WorthyXIIXII. That's Worthy1212 on Instagram, and it feels so good to be back. I appreciate you all so much. You make sure you believe in yourselves. Believe in yourselves like I believe in you. We are worthy individuals, and we deserve better. Make sure that you're loving yourselves. Make sure that you're loving yourselves as I jump into this Tetris. And forgive yourselves for the past. Forgive yourself for the past. Make sure that you're not harboring and that you're coping and healing and moving forward and breaking cycles. We're going to break cycles. And I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for giving me a platform to share of myself, giving me an opportunity to share of my story, share of my experiences dealing with a toxic or narcissistic person. I'm truly grateful for you. I cannot do this without you. We will continue to grow. We will continue to elevate. And it's not just about you, it's about me. It's not just about me, it's about you, and I'm thankful. I'm grateful for you. And until next time, not hard to find. It's Biz, a Biz Lifestyle. And we out.